emulate or mimic someone else's system first and then tweak it as you go. That is the key to a really good customized system, is finding one that you like and then adapting it so that it fits exactly for you. Welcome to the Action Taker Podcast. Hi, I'm Lauren Cosgrave, and I'm a business coach. In this podcast, you'll find an action-packed look at the strategies, tactics, and mindset that lead to successful online coaching, consulting, and service businesses, even if you're a mighty team of one. Hello, Action Takers. It's Lauren, and welcome to the Action Taker Podcast. All right. Who out there is guilty of having 100 tabs open on your web browser right now? Huh? Who has 2,000 plus unread emails in your inbox? And perhaps your desktop is littered with files, as well as physical notebooks everywhere and legal pads all over the place. And you feel gross every time you walk into your office. You feel unsettled. You feel frustrated and overwhelmed, and you feel like you're going to need an army of virtual assistants to help you get out of that mess. Well, today, Action Takers, I want to talk to you about how to design systems in your business so that you can get out of that mess, so that you can no longer feel overwhelmed and frustrated. What if you could finally open your laptop and feel like a breath of fresh air and you weren't distracted by everything that was still open and you knew where to find things? You had systems that you trusted that enabled you to navigate. You laid those breadcrumbs everywhere so you could always go find exactly what you needed when you sat down to work. Well, creating these customized systems isn't easy, and it takes a lot of time and it takes commitments. But the payoff, the return on investment is so high if you commit to building systems that are going to work for you and your business. And it's important that they're customized. There is no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to building systems. So first of all, raise your hand and say, I commit to building systems. I commit to getting out of this black hole in the next 90 days in my business. I commit to figuring out what it is, how my operations are going to run much smoother in the future. The second piece of this is you have to give yourself time to struggle through those roadblocks. When you hit a point that you haven't found a file that you were looking for, don't give up. You got to be like a dog on a bone to figure out what that is. I attribute this to a lot of my success is just not giving up when I wanted to figure something out. My husband will tell you, I will obsess over things. A level of obsession around figuring out the right systems is a really healthy obsession in my opinion. And if you can find that level of dedication and obsession around systems, it will serve you well, business owner. This is such a fundamental component of a successful business that's going to scale. If you have dreams of making your business something that you want for the long term, something that you're going to have a team for, you need to build these foundations now. You guys hear me talk about this all the time. I'm the foundation person. I'm the one that's trying to help you build out, those sustaining elements of your business so that you can build your dream, so that you can take it even further than you ever imagined. Okay, so once you've committed, you then got to learn how to learn. I am reading a book right now by Jim Kwik called Limitless, which is all about learning how to learn, basically, around memorization and speed reading and things like that, and limiting beliefs. When it comes to systems in your business, they're no different. You've got to learn what works for other people, and you got to learn how to build those systems. So what are your resources? All right, so strategy number 1 is commit and obsess over your systems. Strategy number 2 is learning how to learn. Learn how to learn about systems, right? Learn how other people have developed their own systems. That's basically what you're doing there. Strategy number 3 is ask everyone you know about the systems that they use. This is probably the most common question that I ask friends and peers is I want to know, how do you manage your email inbox? How do you manage your files? What is your file organization structure? Ask people that you know and dig into what systems work for them and take notes around what might work for you, what you might want to try in your own systems. you almost always have to emulate or mimic someone else's system first and then tweak it as you go. That is the key to a really good customized system, is finding one that you like and then adapting it so that it fits exactly for you. So that's strategy number 3. Are you ready for the last strategy here? Strategy number 4 is to use Google and YouTube. I love this one so much, and I don't know why more people don't do it. Enter into the Google search bar or YouTube search bar, how to build a financial system for my business, how to build a prospecting system for my business. You will find a wealth of information. People love recording about these things out there on the internet around how they do what they do and sharing it. And you can learn a tremendous amount. So if you're not up for like asking your friends, at a minimum, go to the internet and just start searching about the systems that you want to put in place. Now, you may have noticed in these 4 strategies, I'm not telling you any specific strategy. I'm not giving you my strategies. Sorry, not going to get that in this episode. But it's just because it's too much. There's like way too many systems. I have a ton of systems. Members of my Action Taker Elite will tell you every time they ask a question, like, oh, I've got a system for that. Like there's just one more to add to the list. So if this is something that you want to go deeper on, if you want to learn and how to mimic my systems, I'd love to chat with you about the Action Taker Elite if that might be a fit for you. You can learn more over at laurencosgrave.com/elite. But let's transition into the 4 areas of every business that needs systems. These are true if you're a solo entrepreneur business or if you're Fortune 500 business, okay? They don't really change. There's a few modifications depending on the type of business, but you're going to need systems around your sales, systems around your financial management, your marketing, and your operations of your business. Let me list those off for you again. Sales, finance, marketing, and operations. Every one of those components has to have systems that can scale with you in your business and be repeatable by other people in the future when you do get to the point that you're no longer operating solo and you're ready to bring on a team. So where do we start with all of these? Don't get overwhelmed by thinking like, oh, I need a CFO and I need a CMO and I need a COO. Like, we all wear those hats as solo entrepreneurs. We are the CFO, the CMO, the CEO, the COO, the whatever you want to call yourself, right? So start just with a list or a spreadsheet with those 4 categories on it of sales, finance, marketing, and operations. And as things come up, as you start to struggle with things, if you're like, man, this is just not efficient how I'm doing my bookkeeping or how I'm managing my sales calls, or this needs to be templatized, write it down and then treat it as a project. Take each of those systems as projects that you're going to tackle individually. All right, action takers, I hope that these strategies helped you, and I hope that you understand that this is such a foundational element for your business if you want to grow and scale. And my wish for you, action takers, is that you love and feel that your business is so organized and spot on that it is not limiting you from taking on more capacity. Your system should never be the reason that you can't take on more clients. It should only be a function of time or the design of your systems, of how you can transition from serving one to many. So don't let systems be your downfall. I'll share a little fun story here about one system that I put in place. When I was trying to figure out like a good note-taking app, I dove into YouTube and I started watching tons of videos of medical students around how they take notes in their studies for medical school. I think med students are probably some of the best note takers around, and they have figured out how to learn, right? Because they have to just memorize copious amounts of information. And that's just one example of how YouTube became a fantastic resource for me figuring out how I wanted to take notes in my coaching practice. So get out there and use Google, get out there and use YouTube. Don't stay frustrated or stuck or stressed or overwhelmed. Shift to that organized, KonMari entrepreneur that you know you can be. All right, action takers, until next time, remember that normal is boring, success is inevitable, and action taking is replacing the grind.